You are live here again with KUCB Radio. I'm your host, Brother Jamal. And before we into just a little bit of a talk here, like we always like to do, we like to give you a little background information about KUCB Radio. KUCB Radio was founded in 1981-82. The founders, Miss Joanne Cheatham, Brother Charles Knox. They have recently, some time ago, passed. And we thank Allah for blessing them and giving them the insight and the wisdom and the vision to see the foresight of establishing a local community 10-watt low power educational radio station, nonprofit, non-commercial. And so once again, the founders of KUCB Radio, Miss Joanne Cheatham, Brother Charles Knox. We also was on the air 24 hours. We had a volunteer staff of about maybe 60, 65 people that was all volunteered. No one got paid. And we had a extensive training program for the young people. The youth who were able to come on and learn how to do news, do sports, do public service announcements, all those things through the training program they were able to do. Then after they completed that, they would have a radio show on KUCB Radio. Now, in between that, we would check with the parents, see how they were going and doing in school, grades wise. We would check on them to see if they were making sure they were, going to school, not getting, in trouble and just, the regular things like that. We would check on those things. And so after the young person completed the training program, then they got a chance to have a on-air show. And that was one of the things that we were proud of with KUCB Radio. In case you don't know, KUCB Radio's motto is, and still is today, truth is the wealth of freedom, and we communicate to educate and organize. And so we decided we would take this to another level, the social media level, where we could do so many things, inshallah, reach so many people. So that's kind of where we at. This segment is called Part 2, and it's called The Time. Let me just share something with you from the Holy Quran about what it says about the time. This surah is called Surah Al-As, the time. And it says, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, verily man is in loss, except those who believe in Islamic monotheism, do righteous good deeds, recommend one another to the truth, and order one another to perform all kind of good deeds. And so we see as we look into the time, precisely what we're in, you can very well see how man is really at loss. You can really see that. Because when you look around in the society, we have a word in Islam, it's called dunya, which describes this society, this place where we live, the society, which means low. Dunya in Arabic means low. So as you look around in this dunya, in this society today, you can very well see how lost man is. And it says by the time, man is surely in loss. It says that by the time. It also goes on and then it gives you the ingredients to say those who are not lost, who believe in Islamic monotheism and do righteous good deeds, recommend other people to do good, to avoid, to stay away from the wrong. So you see this time that we live in, you can see all the things that are going on. One of the things I just wanted to discuss with you in this short video is that we see a kind of modern if you will, modern racism and modern races as we live in this time. As once again we're talking about the time. We see this, a kind of a modern day racism, a kind of a modern day races of things that are going on. Once again, we're talking about the time. And this kind of modern day racism and this kind of modern day racism, it expands uh, uh, in so many other areas, if you will. When you look at policy making, all of the things that we talk about, once again, we're talking about the time and how man is in loss. When we look at the policy making across the board and everything, so many things, so many items, so many issues, so many situations, it's a modern racism that we see in today's time. If we look at the just the whole idea of the criminal justice system, the court system, we can look at how unfair and how unjust that is. We can look at that across the board. I mean, here we are in this time. Once again, this video is called The Time. We see a modern racism, a modern racist is all of a sudden now we're hearing reports. We are seeing things that's been publicized, things that are being put out, a kind of modern racist behavior and attitude where so many of these police departments have been infiltrated, if you will, by the white supremacist groups. And that's why this kind of demonic hatred is being carried out against black people and people of color. We see this right unfolding. It gives us a prime example once again. The surah is called El As, and it talks about the time and how man is at loss. With the things that we see going on, with the attitudes, the behaviors, and the conduct and the manners, we know for sure that man is lost because man is so far away from worshiping and praising Allah like he's supposed to. This makes him lost. And let me tell you something. We always say that the prayers is your connection between yourself and Allah. We don't need an intercede. We don't need anything in between. That's your connection. And do you not know that a man, a society, that if a man doesn't pray, then he's at loss. Yes, he's at loss because how are you going to get your directions if you don't pray and communicate with Allah? How are you going to get your when you are feeling those sad and depressed times and you're worried about this and worried about that? How are you going to pray? Someone told me a story. I heard this story at least, and I want to share it with you. It talked about this person was complaining about they didn't have any shoes. This person was complaining. It could be male, female, young person, old person, middle-aged person, you name it. They were complaining about they didn't have any shoes. And so what Allah did was he showed this person, okay, look, you're complaining about you don't have any shoes. Let me show you someone that don't have any feet. So while this person is complaining about he doesn't have any shoes or she doesn't have any shoes, Allah showed this person, he or she, male or female, this person don't have any feet. And the scenario of this little story is that look, be thankful for whatever you do have, whatever you have got. Be thankful for it because Allah knows best. There are some people who are in much worse shape than you are. So be thankful and appreciative to whatever you do have, whatever Allah has blessed you with. You may see it as being good, you may see it as not being good, but at the same time, alhamdulillah, be thankful for it. Be thankful for it because there's someone else who may have a worse situation than what you may be going through, what you may be experiencing, or what you may think you have. And sometimes what Allah will do, he will show us while we are complaining, he'll show us somebody else's situation. And then when that happens, Oftentimes, there's nothing we can say but just say alhamdulillah. We thank Allah for what we do have because we're not in that shape or in that situation. So I just want to mention and share that with you. Once again, we see a modern day type racism, a modern day type racist attitude. And this is across the board because there's so much going on and so many things going on. And so as I said, the modern racism and the modern racist today's time, it could be in the policy making, it could be in these police departments, it could be in the judges, it could be in the court system, it could be this whole across the board thing is there, y'all. And so much of the even so much as the regentrification, where they're beginning to rezone certain parts of cities and where a large number of people of color, a large number, they have a heavy black population, they have a heavy Hispanic population, or they may have a heavy population of some other people that's not that's brown skin, that's dark skin. And so what they do, when these cities go in, they do a regentrification where they reroute, the whole city. They reroute it, and then in rerouting that, there's policies being made to redo all of that stuff. And so within those policies, in the regentrification, you see a modern type racism that takes place, a modern racist that takes place because once you have a city, oftentimes they use regentrification, which is part of the the kind of racist policies that they have in today's time. So much of the services, so much of the things that a city may acquire, oftentimes when they regentrification do that in the city, those services, those programs will be cut off from certain areas because they have rezoned them and they're not able to qualify more or less for those services and for those things, programs. And so even in the policy making, there's a kind of modern day racism. There's a kind of a modern racist that takes place in that. In the court system, it's there. In the criminal justice system, in these police departments, it's all there. And I mentioned to you about the what so many people are saying today, and we're seeing this right before our very eyes. We're seeing this where so many of these police departments in today's time, they have been infiltrated, if you will, by these white supremacist hate groups, and the hatred that you see in being spilled over to people of color from the modern races, the modern racist attitude that you see within these police departments. You see it across the board. You can't deny that because it's there. And so this is what we see, and this is what is going on. We decided we would bring this kind of short, talk to you, short discussion to you, because we're living in a time, and it's simply like the Holy Quran says. It talks about al-as, the time. This is simply called a time. Okay. It said, verily, man is in loss, except those who believe in Islamic monotheism and do righteous good deeds, recommend one another to the truth, order one another to perform all kind of good deeds. That's extremely important, y'all. The good deeds are extremely important, because when we do our we have a burial we call janazas. When we do our janazas and we bury and we go to the cemetery, the one thing that the Imam always reminds all of us in the cemetery, he always reminds us that, look, when we put somebody in the ground, there's three things that are going to go with that person in the ground, in the grave. Two things will leave, one will stay. Number one, as much as someone loves the loved ones, love that person, I haven't seen anyone yet to sit in the cemetery all night long and say that they're not going to leave because they love that person so much. Yeah, they love them, but not to the degree that they would sit in the cemetery all night. either after closing hours. I have not seen that happen. The other thing is too, as much wealth as a person may have, to I recollect, I stand to be corrected now. I have never seen when we went to the cemetery to bury a brother or sister. I never seen us throw all that person's money in the grave with them. Usually the money is left back here, and through a will or through something in writing, the person will let the all the other people know how he want to make a distribution of his money, of his wealth. The only thing that benefits, the only thing that saves that person in the grave is their good deeds. You heard me read Surah Al-As. It's called The Time. And you heard me say how man is in loss, but through believing in Islamic monotheism, do righteous good deeds and recommend one another to the truth in order one another to perform all kind of good deeds. So the time us is talking about the importance of encouraging and urging people, brothers and sisters, to perform good deeds, because your good deeds is going to stay with you in your grave. That's the thing that's going to stay with you in your grave, your good deeds. So that's why we seriously encourage the whole idea of good deeds, because this is what's going to stay with you. The other thing is too, I've been doing a series of videos, and inshallah you may have caught some, you may have saw them, where we're talking about the missing black girls and black women, and also we're talking about the missing black boys and black men. And this is a serious thing. I'm not getting ready to go into it now, but I just want to kind of just lay this on you and let you know it's a serious thing, because we have the numbers are not decreasing. We having more black boys, black men, black girls, black women who are missing at this particular time. 2017, we have more black females, young girls, black males, young boys who are missing at this particular time. So we just wanted to throw that in. So you might see some of the KUCB radio. You may see some of the other shows that we have did around that, that whole thing that's going on. But this segment was to really talk about modern racism and modern races that we see in our time today and in our midst. And so we see so many racist individuals who are coming out, either running for political office, just resurfacing. And we know the rise of the hate groups in this country, that they have risen quite a bit. We know that for a fact they have risen. And so all we're saying is that you always should be conscious of your surroundings. You also should be conscious when you're out and about. You should be conscious about the time that we're living in. That's real important. You be conscious about that. And so we wanted to just bring you this kind of short segment. As I said, it's called The Time. This is part 2. Inshallah, if it's Allah's will, we'll continue to bring you videos, try to get the message, get the word out there. Like I said, this is KUCB Radio. Our motto is truth is the wealth of freedom, and we communicate to educate and organize. And so once again, we just want to bring you this short segment. Inshallah, we'll be continuing to bring you more shows and try to bring you more, discussions on things and more talks and whatever, inshallah.